discuss about language and gender, and the discussion are come from the journals that we have searched. Now, before we come to the discussion, let me introduce our team member. The first one is Dwi Putri Amanda as the first speaker, and then Andina Ika Widya as the second speaker, and the last one is me, Dewi Ayu Irawati, as the last speaker. Now, let's come to the discussion. Now we come to the first journal. The title of the first journal is Gender Differences in Using Language, which has 3 main points of content. The first one is male-female difference in their using language, and then another possible explanation, and the last content is change through time. Alright. The first material will be discussed by Dwi Putri Amanda. Dwi Putri Amanda, time is yours.
Gender differences in using language. The first material is about difference in pronunciations. The in phonological difference pronunciation between men and women is different. For example, like women will clearly in saying pronunciation ing than a man. And more women learn about the language than a man. And the second one is about difference in intonations. In the psychology side states if the woman will say in a rising intonation if they feel intimidated and feel under pressure, and they will say in the high intonation or the rising intonation. On the other hand, men will say in the falling intonation when they feel unconfident and they feel under pressure. And the third one is about the difference in vocabulary. The first one is color words. Women selecting words for the identity or the identity of the woman, such as elegant and mellow is only a special word for a woman, but the man is like gentle and superhero. The second one is adjectives. Women more sensitive to the environments, such they always say lovely and gorgeous. Then a man usually use adjective good and okay. For example, like this food is really gorgeous, but on the other hand, food is okay. This food is okay. And for the adverbs, women usually use words like amazing, awfully, terribly, pretty. On the other hand, men always say like really and very. And the fourth one is swear words and expletives. Women is avoided to say a dirty word such a dumb, shit, and extra. Women always choose the words such as oh my dear, oh my god. But on the other hand, men always say dumb because it is their general vocabulary. And diminutives, women usually use word dearie and sweetie, but if men say like that, they will judge for the environment if they has a psychology destroyed. And the fifth one is pronouns. Women use the first personal pronouns such as I, we, but men usually use first personal singular pronouns such you. For example, like we need to be quick. You need to be quick. Itu is the man. And the next material will be explained by my teammate Andini Ika Widya.
Okay, I will explain the next material. That is differences in syntax. Differences in syntax. There are 4 points. The first one is modulation. Women usually use be polite and use word like kind of maybe I'm wrong, but I think well, you know, and so on. But men usually ask something directly. And the second one is interrogative sentences. Women use more interrogative sentences, but men less than women. And the third one is imperative sentences. Women use sentences with modal verbs such as can, could, and may. But men usually use words like just, perhaps, maybe, and probably. And the fourth point is correctness of grammar. Women use correctness of grammar to make her utterance clearly. E. Differences in their attitudes toward language. Women use the standard form like are you coming, but the men use more of substandard form like are you coming, and F. Non-verbal differences. Differences of manners. Women usually use politeness conversation, would you please, and so on. But men continue interrupting others' talk. All the next material will be explained by my partner Dewi Ayu Irawati.
Thank you Andini Kawidia for inviting me. And now I will discuss about the second and the third section of this journal. The second section discuss about another possible explanation which may make distinction between men and women in using language. Okay, in this section there are three main points. The first one is different psychology. Different psychology can be divided as the distinction made through the diction that men and women use, through where women are more think today and speak tomorrow, or we can say that woman is think before they say something, while man is usually more straightforward in say something. And then the second point is different social status. Different social status can be divided as through kind of language that used by men and women and how they use the language. Okay, in this section we can say that different social status can be divided through upper, middle, and lower class of social level, and we can say the distinction. We can see the distinction by see the language used by educated and non-educated person. And then the third point is different cultural background. Okay, actually this is very rarely in Indonesia, but it can be divided that distinction that made by cultural background occurs. Okay, different in cultural background, we can say that that is the distinction made that occurs among men and women because of there are several particular cultures that is restrict the language using by men and women. For example, we can see in California there is a Yana language, which the language is only used by and among men only. Okay, and then the last point of the journal is change through time. Alright, now we come to the last section of the journal. The big title is change through time. Okay, actually in this section we discuss about through the modernization era, people linguistics or the way of people using language are significantly changed because there are several aspects that may influence, such as social status, profession, and also education. Therefore, because of this modernization, we could see that people behavior in using language there are getting changed, become more directed. Distinction among men and women in using language by distinction in vocabulary, topic, and also pronunciation are less occur because most of women nowadays is educated person. Therefore, the distinction that before occur in women and women are being judged, now that distinction are less occur in this modernization era. Okay, now we come to the second journal. The second journal will be explained by Andini Kawidia, Prime Minister.